You just finished a big plate of pasta, and your cycling shoes are sitting by the door. Do you go now, or do you wait? Here's the truth almost nobody tells beginner cyclists. Riding right after eating can either fuel your best ride ever, or it can wreck your stomach, tank your power output, and leave you gasping on a hill you'd normally crush. Today, we're breaking down exactly what happens inside your body when you clip in right after a meal. And by the end of this video, you'll know the exact timing window that lets you ride strong without the stomach cramps, the sluggishness, or the dreaded mid-ride bonk. Stick around, because Section 4 might completely change how you fuel before your next ride. Every cyclist has been there. You're short on time, you just ate, and the road or the trail is calling. Maybe you felt that heavy, sloshy feeling in your gut climbing a hill. Maybe you felt strangely flat and low energy even though you just ate a full meal. Both of these experiences come down to one thing. Digestion and exercise are competing for the same resources in your body. In this video, we're diving deep into the science of eating and cycling, covering how digestion actually works while you pedal, how different meals affect your energy and performance, the ideal timing windows for different types of food, and practical strategies you can use starting on your very next ride. This isn't about scare tactics or extreme rules. It's about understanding your body so you can make smart, simple choices. Let's get into it. When you eat, your body redirects a significant portion of blood flow to your stomach and intestines to support digestion. This is often called the rest and digest state, and it's controlled by your parasympathetic nervous system. Cycling, on the other hand, demands blood flow to your working muscles, your heart, and your lungs. This is the fight or flight, or sympathetic, state. When you start pedaling shortly after eating, your body faces a tug of war. Blood that would normally help break down your meal gets pulled toward your legs and cardiovascular system instead, which can slow digestion dramatically. At the same time, your stomach is still working, which is why intense exercise right after eating can trigger that heavy, bloated, or nauseous feeling many riders describe. Research on exercise physiology consistently shows that vigorous activity soon after a large meal increases the likelihood of gastrointestinal discomfort, including cramping, side stitches, and even reflux. The intensity of your ride matters here too. A gentle recovery spin might barely register as a problem, but a hard interval session or a steep climb right after a big lunch is a recipe for stomach trouble. Not all meals are created equal when it comes to pre-ride timing. Large meals, high-fat meals, and high-fiber meals all take considerably longer to digest than small, simple meals. A big plate of fried food or a heavy cream-based pasta can sit in your stomach for 3 to 4 hours or more, while a banana or a small bowl of oatmeal might clear out in under an hour. Protein-heavy meals also digest more slowly than simple carbohydrates, which is worth remembering if you're loading up on chicken or steak before a ride. Fiber, while excellent for long-term health, tends to slow gastric emptying too, so a huge salad or a bowl of beans right before a hard ride isn't ideal. On the other hand, easily digestible carbohydrates, like white rice, bananas, or a slice of toast, move through your system more quickly and are far less likely to cause problems. This is why many experienced cyclists gravitate towards simple, familiar, carb-forward foods before rides, rather than experimenting with heavy or unusual meals. The lesson here isn't to fear food. It's to match your meal choice and timing to how hard and how soon you plan to ride. So how long should you actually wait? While every body is different, general guidelines from sports nutrition research give us a useful framework. For a large mixed meal with protein, fat, and fiber, most cyclists benefit from waiting 3 to 4 hours before a moderate to hard ride. For a medium-sized meal that's more carbohydrate-focused, 2 to 3 hours is often enough. For a small, simple snack like a banana, a handful of pretzels, or a slice of toast with honey, 30 minutes to an hour can be plenty, especially for easy to moderate riding. If you're heading out for a light, easy spin, you have far more flexibility, since your body isn't demanding the same blood flow and oxygen that a hard effort requires. The key variable isn't just time, it's intensity. A gentle ride 20 minutes after eating is usually fine, An all-out effort at the same 20-minute mark is asking for trouble. Think of it less as a rigid rule and more as a sliding scale. The harder you plan to ride, the more digestion time you want to give yourself beforehand. Before we get into how this affects your actual performance and power output, if this is helping clear things up, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more riders who are asking the exact same questions you are. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're covering nutrition, training, and gear breakdowns just like this every single week. Okay, let's keep going, because the next part is where a lot of cyclists are unknowingly sabotaging their own rides. Here's something a lot of riders don't realize. Eating too close to a hard ride doesn't just risk stomach issues. It can actually make you feel weaker and slower. When your body is busy digesting, a chemical process related to insulin and blood sugar can sometimes leave you feeling sluggish for a short window after eating, especially after a high-carbohydrate meal. This is sometimes described as a temporary dip in available energy, even though you technically just ate. On top of that, because digestion is competing with your muscles for blood flow and oxygen, your legs may simply have less to work with, which can translate into lower power output and a higher perceived effort for the same speed you'd normally hit easily. This is why professional cyclists and coaches are so deliberate about pre-ride fueling windows. It's not about eating less. It's about eating at the right time so that your body has already moved past the heavy digestive phase by the time you need peak performance. On the flip side, riding on a completely empty stomach isn't the answer either. Underfueling can lead to low blood sugar, dizziness, and a much earlier bonk, especially on longer rides. The goal is a middle ground, fueled enough to have energy, but timed well enough that digestion isn't fighting your muscles for resources. Now let's make this actionable. If you're riding within the next 30 to 60 minutes, stick to something small, simple, and carbohydrate-based, like half a banana, a small handful of dried fruit, or a piece of toast with a thin layer of jam. If you have 2 to 3 hours before your ride, a moderate meal built around easily digestible carbohydrates with a little protein, think oatmeal with a scoop of yogurt, or rice with grilled chicken, tends to work well for most riders. If you just ate a large, heavy meal, consider treating the next few hours as recovery or planning time rather than pushing for a hard effort. Use that window for stretching, route planning, or an easy walk instead. Hydration matters here too. Drinking water alongside your meal supports digestion, but chugging a huge volume right before you clip in can add to that sloshy, uncomfortable feeling. And finally, pay attention to your own patterns. Some riders tolerate eating closer to ride time better than others, and tracking how you feel after different meals and timings over a few weeks will teach you more about your own body than any general guideline ever could. Start conservative, then adjust based on real feedback from your own rides. So the next time you're staring at your bike after a big meal, you'll know exactly what's happening inside your body and exactly how long to wait based on what you ate and how hard you plan to ride. If you found this useful, make sure you're subscribed, because next week we're covering what to eat during long rides to avoid hitting the wall completely. Drop a comment below and tell us your go-to pre-ride snack. We read every single one. Thanks for watching. Fuel smart, ride strong, and we'll see you in the next video.